and welcome to The Fat Squirrel Speaks. Today is Tuesday, January 28th, and this is episode 96, sorry. Hi, how are you? I am your hostess, Amy Beth, also known as The Fat Squirrel on Ravelry, and The Fat Squirrel, SQRRL, on Instagram. I've not been posting much lately. Everybody else is doing great. It's dark and cold. It's bad lighting everywhere. I'm Phil. Let's talk about what we should talk about. Administrativeness. Prize drawing next week. That's the 2,000 member prize drawing. So if you have not done so, please go over to the Ravelry group and leave a post in the thread. I just ask you to ask any questions you might have for the podcast. And then that will close, I believe, February 3rd. And we'll do the prizes the next podcast. So I think I'll close it on Monday or Tuesday, and then I'll record on Tuesday, and etc. Extrapolate. Yes. Thank you. I'm really enjoying this. Oh, I was gonna say, and then I'll start answering them soon. So, confession time. I'm a little off today. I really apologize. We've had snow today, which is not why I'm off. But we've actually had just like a lot of like really first worldy problems going on. And so I'm a little bit stressed out about it. So it's not like anything life endangering. It's not even endangering to like our structure, our safety. First worldy. All up in my grill. I had one of those days yesterday where just everything I touched just broke apart. Just heaps of ashes surrounded me. I think it's like, I do, sometimes I do get cabin fever. But not too bad. But I think I'm getting cabin fever. I usually don't like to leave the house. Like, I will try to like have any excuse possible. Hello, Peapod, please bring me my groceries. Like, I do not like to leave the house. Because quite frankly, I go out there and things cost money that falls out of my face. All things that are crazy happen. So usually I'm completely okay with never leaving the house. But I do get out of the house in the vicinity more often than I have been lately. I'm a little bit like, I apologize. This is an off episode. If you're a new viewer, you may want to watch a past one. Just to see. If you really like this one, I'm going to try to trick you and make you watch again next week. I'm going to admit it. I'm honest. So anyway, so there's that. What else do I need to talk about? Oh, the Gratitude Cowl is going to be February and March. So if you've never done it with us before, it'll just like a normal cowl, but it's anything for you. It has to be wearable, or I think I'll allow blankets, but I mean, can you really knit a blanket in 2 months? Maybe you can, you're magic. Then that's acceptable, but it has to be for you. Or at least you have to pretend it is. And we'll have awesome prizes. I promise. And the awesome prize of your own happy and joyness. Knitted into a garment. It'll be fabulous. Okay, the other thing to talk about, Ravelinix. We don't do Ravelinix in the group. Okay, I don't do Ravelinix in the group because I am a terrible fail at Ravelry anyway. Like, I'm awful about keeping up with things, which I completely admit. So I don't want to like take that on and be like, then mess up for everybody. But are you going to do something? I think we're going to do something. This is my plan. And Leslie seconded my plan without knowing it, so I feel like it's a good plan. Leslie, the Knit Girls. I have decided to, I have tentatively decided, because I have a lot of sewing to do. This is one of the reasons I've had first world problems this week. Going on. Amazon UPS. Anyway, sorry. See, I'm so distracted, it's not even cool. Why can't I just let it go? I should have drank before I started the podcast. That's really what I should have done. Anyway. So, I mean, I'm thinking about doing Ravelinix in the sense that I might try to complete something in that time frame. And this is my thought. I want one of those Viagante things that Martina Bem, like the crazy triangular shawl that's lace and you put your head through and it's like a shawl, poncho, shrug, like, not shrug, but it's like a Schouncho Could you put cow in there too? A Schouncho? It's a Schouncho! Well, that's festive. I want a Schouncho. But I don't want to try to make it out of lace weight yarn because that doesn't need explaining, right? So I had this crazy, okay, so this is, I've been wanting to make one for a while, but I was just like, I'm not making this made out of lace weight yarn. It's not happening. And then one day last week, it was so flippin' cold in this house. I'm sorry, I know a lot of you keep your houses way colder than we do. Again, first worlding it all the way. But it was so cold in the house that I was like, I need a poncho. And I can't remember who said it, or like it was on Instagram or something, but said, like, every knitter, instead of being like, I should go buy something, I'm like, I need to make that. By the time I'm done, clearly it'll be warm, but whatever. Next year I'm prepared. Right. But I immediately, no impulse control, immediately was looking on Ravelry, shivering. Can't even, I can't just, the phone, like, not the phone, because I just have an iPod, but like won't even register my fingers because they're so cold. That's probably a slight exaggeration. Whatever's cold. So, so I'm like looking at ponchos like, I've never, I think I can safely say that I have never wanted a poncho in my life. Ever. I'm pretty sure I can safely say that. Yeah, 100%. But I'm full on Ravelry like poncho. So I decided that Viajante, I should make that, but then make it out of sport weight because A, it would be warmer, and B, it would be more realistic for me. So I immediately also, no, impulse control. And by immediately, I mean within like 2 hours. Ordered the Beaverside dry goods to make it. Oh, I know, right? I'm gonna make a sport weight Beaverside dry goods Viajante poncho thing. What did I call it so brilliantly? A Schouncho. Schouncho. Doesn't it sound like I should be a flamenco dancer? Nobody wants that, I know. Just hush. I understand. Clearly, everybody needs a Schouncho. It's my new swance, people. So yes, so that's happening, I think. And then, so I was behind on my Knit Girls episodes, and so then I was watching the Knit Girls, and Leslie was like, I think I might knit a sport wave. I was like, what? And then she was like, who else has made it? Oh, somebody famous has also made one. And I was like, oh. I was like, I had a brilliant idea. We all parallel invented that crap. It was exciting. So that confirmed my suspicion that that's what I needed to make. I don't know. It sounded brilliant at the time. And I got the yarn in today, and I think it's gonna happen, people. Just saying. Just saying. So there's that. Okay. So there are no shenanigans. Those were the shenanigans, me deciding I needed a poncho. Slight shenanigans, not even worth mentioning. Really, we've done nothing exciting. Well, I mean, we've lived. We've breathed air and been warm. I mean, cold, but warm, really. I mean, go stand outside for a minute. Oh, it's warm in there. But that's pretty much it. I've had to resist baking all of the things because it's cold. Clearly, I need more insulation. Not at all. Okay, so yes, there are no shenanigans, but there will be spinning. There it is. There will be knitting, and then there will be shameless self-promotion at the end. Let's get into it, okay? First, I have a spinning finished object, which you've never even seen in Progressio before. Because I'm crazy. This is my first ever thick and thin singles. Now, I was so nervous. I think I did them right. I think they would have been fine, but I just got so nervous about them that I decided that I would fold them just a little bit, and then I fold them a little bit more than I should have. Because they looked all beautiful and like sheeny, and now they kind of look like dirty, dirty white girl dreads. You know, sometimes that's what happens. But it's not, I mean, I'm not like, oh, now I throw it away. It's not matted together or anything. Like, it's got a little stickiness to it, but it's not like it's not usable yarn. It just broke past that place of it being shiny to being more of a matte finish because of how terribly rough I was with it. That's it. I do feel better about its strength because I'm not at all nervous that it's going to pull apart because it has a lot more strength. And if some of you are like, what are you talking about? That's okay. What this is you can see this yarn. It has skinny places and floofy places. And so you want these floofy places to be less than a staple length of your fiber, because if it's longer than the staple length of your fiber, then it can pull apart because there's not very much twist in there at all. So I was just a little bit nervous, so I folded it, whatever. I washed it in hot water and put it in cold water, and then I washed it in hot water and I put it in cold water. And it got fulled and very staticky. But I still think it would be like a super fun something. Really, to be honest with you, what I got so excited about was the thought of making 1 million of those foolproof cows, or maybe slight adaptation there too. And then like making it like a nice, like consistent yarn for one stripe, and then crazy thick and thin for another stripe. Like all artsy style. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, I totally apologize for my completely not age appropriate hairdo today. With mismatching rubber bands nonetheless. Whatever, was a snow day. That's no excuse. But so I wish I had not done that last dip in the hot and the cold. But at the same time, because I did do that last dip, I feel pretty secure about the strength of the yarn. So, and again, for my first try, maybe I should tell you what the fiber was. It was Falkland in the Rat Fink colorway from Spun Right Round. And this is the first fiber I've ever purchased from her. And it was very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. If you don't know much about fiber, if you're trying to do thick and thin, you really do want like very fluffy, like not compacted fiber, and this was great. It's perfect. So I'm very pleased with that, and I may have spun that thick and thin quickly because I was attempting to justify the fact that I had purchased other braids from her. I'm such a wool pig. It's disgusting. I can't help it. Okay, so then in other spinning, I finished my other Falkland. I might have all, no, I don't have all Falkland. I finished my Falkland singles from Godiva Yarns, who is an Etsy shop. Now, if you're looking for her shop, I put the link in the show notes. But also, it's not like Godiva, it's not like GodivaYarns.etsy.com or whatever the heck their thing is, /really-do. You need to actually just search Godiva Yarns Etsy in Google and it'll come up, because it's like My Sweet Spot 2 or something confusing. By the way, I have for some reason not eaten chocolate in like 3 weeks. And the other day, I ate one of those Milano cookies. If you ever want things to taste magic, just don't let yourself have it for like 3 weeks. Not that I was like just purposely trying not to have it. Oh my gosh, now I'm just talking way too much. But oh my gosh, it was amazing. Because I really was like, oh, everybody needs to be quiet. It's so good. I did that one summer when I stopped eating meat all summer. I don't know what possessed me to not eat meat all summer. It was not like I think it just kind of happened. Maybe I was really poor that summer, I'm not sure. Although it's not really necessarily cheaper to eat vegetarian. Anyway, maybe people only eat noodles. But we went to the Olive Garden of all places. I was in high school, shush. My mother took me to the Olive Garden of all places, and I ordered the marinara sauce, which does not have meat in it, and they accidentally gave me the meat sauce. It was amazing. It was like so smoky and complex. I had like a religious moment in an Olive Garden of all places. It was so good. It's so fun though when that stuff happens, you know? It's like, wow. It's kind of like in the spring when the first really like day that's warm enough that you can expose your skin freely, like maybe more than just this part. And like you have that sunshine and you're just like, how did I ever take this for granted? And then you will, of course, in like 2 months, you're gonna be like, ah, but oh, it's awesome. What am I doing? So there's some singles. Then I have more singles. I know, right? I ordered bats from the beautiful Joanna Spring of Knit. Oh, I just knocked all my husband's mail over. The beautiful Joanna Spring of Knit Spin Farm. Because there was that stinking ply issue, and I remember the name this time, was talking about bats, and I was just like, I don't have any bats. Except maybe I do have 2, but I don't want to use those. Because they're not right for what I want to do. So I bought the bats from Joanna. Are you ready? Okay, but let me do it this way because this is how it came. Oh, look at how fluffy it is. And it's all natural colors. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And you open it up and it's just like all these, oh. And there's like silk noils and silky silk and brown and gray and cream. Oh, so pretty. See, oh yeah. See, isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. So I may have ordered 2. That was one of them. She had colored ones too, but I was just like, I love natural colored wools so much. But so this is a perfect way to use them because there's still variation in what you're doing, but it's all the beautiful natural colors. I still have woolly wool in my face. So I was all thinking, I'm going to do something very inventive and doing the spinning from the corner or the stacking them all up and then attenuating and the doing that thing. But really this bat was so lovely. It was, I'm not that other bats aren't, but like a lot of times you get the color gradation, which is great because sometimes you want to do like a gradient. And then that's more addressed how to break up that gradient and what you would get from that and that I always want to say episode, that issue. So I had all these designs, and then when I got this, I was just like, this is so beautiful. I just stripped it because that's how it was gorgeous. So here's my singles. And they are left and right. And so I just spun them long draw, however they happen to come off the thing. Because that's exactly what I did. My intention is to leave them as singles. And then again, do them with something else. Work them in as stripes or something. I know, I'm very excited. Or maybe just do a crazy cowl. I don't know, but I don't care. It's beautiful. So thank you, Joanna Spring. She's fancy. Ugh. Every time I go outside and complain about how cold it is, I think of 2 people. I think of my husband who works primarily outside this time of year. And then I think of Joanna. And I'm like, I need to shut my face. Complain about how cold it is. Okay, so there's all the spinning. Let there be knitting. Okay, so I have the Rye Socks by Tin Can Knits that I finished. Whoa. That was dangerous. Did you feel it? Did you feel a sense of danger? You were in danger. It's kind of scary. So these are my Rye Socks, which are, the pattern is written for, I believe, Erin, but mine was more bulky. But I'm very pleased with them. They are made of unknown handspun, which is slightly fold for durability. Just a little plain heel. It's not even a slip stitch. It is a gusset, but it's like an 16 row gusset also. And I love that. I am so in love with garters. It's just ridiculous. I mean, like I'm having serious problems. I was looking the other day, I just need to make a baby sweater perhaps. And there's a design called Lilliput for children, and it's very cute. And it's knit sideways and garter stitch, which is probably not the best idea for like an adult human. I'm totally off center, sorry. The graphic designers in the group were like, Please move back in the middle. Oh, so it's knit sideways in garter stitch in every other row, like every ridge. I'm assuming it's, you know, knit back and forth in one color, knit back, so stripes. But so each ridge that you see is a different color. And then it has just like this very simple little yoke. So it's like, and it looks skinnier and then it gets fatter. I don't know. It's so cute. And I was immediately like, that baby doesn't need that. I need that. Clearly, do you know what a bad idea that would be for me? Unless I made it in like fingering weight yarn, which would be ridiculous. Like garter stitch stretches like out of control style. Then it's sideways. So if you knit garter stitch this way, like you traditionally do, then you get this one that's like 20 feet too long by the end of the day. And then if you knit it the circumference wise, then it's just like 20 feet too wide by the end of the day. I totally still want a garter stitch sweater. I'm like, why? I'm going to do it one day. Okay, second finished object. This is the, let me cheat. I believe it's the Le Monde hat by Little Theorem in Malabrigo Mecca in the, oh, I forgot to look this up. It's the Indiecita colorway. Indiecita? It looks like Indiecita. On US 8s. Now, some of you are so cute, and in the thread where you ask questions, you write cute things like, how do you always look so good in hats? Here is proof that that is not true. Are you ready? Okay. Okay, actually that's totally kind of cute. Never mind. When I put it on earlier, it looked really, really awful. What happened? Maybe it's probably the camera. The camera's tricking me. I'm gonna look in the bathroom mirror and be like, ah! I'm gonna have like 95 chins and like I'll be disproportionate. But I usually look much better in hats that have width up here, so that have more positive ease than a traditional hat does. Maybe I'm just having a good hair day. That's probably what it is. So I usually look better. This one is just slightly slouchy, but it's not actually in the pattern. I mean, it says, yeah, this is free pattern. It says to knit this part for 3 inches, and then to knit stockinette for 3 inches, and then to start the decreases for the hat, or for the crown. I think that only works if you have the tiniest head in the world. Which some people probably do. I do not. So I did 3 inches, and then 6 inches, and then I started the decreases. But I have a big head. I had to make more stitches around too because of my giant head. And this has the little split in the back. So it can easily go over your ears without feeling like it's bunching up or being weird. It has a few little short rows in the top. I did, if I read the pattern correctly, which is completely possible that I might not have. Maybe it's my little rubber bands up here. That's what it is. My rubber bands are like pushing it out and making it look less disgusting on me. See that angle? You can see like my weird disfigurements. Can you tell I'm off? I'm totally off. What else was I gonna say? Oh, it has a pom-pom in the pattern, but I didn't. Not that I'm anti-pom-pom, because I'm actually quite pro-pom-pom, but I just didn't feel it in this situation. I think pom-poms look better on snugger hats when it's like just a pom-pom and it's like a slouchy hat, which this one really isn't meant to be. It's supposed to be like a regular hat. But when it's a pom-pom and it's a slouchy hat, it seems like it's kind of, it needs like a pom-pom on a tassel or something. And then that was getting way too fancy for me. So, I don't know, can you tell? You can't really tell from the side view that it's split like that. There you go. It was very quick. It was knit, I said on US 8s, which is like, I think recommended for 10.5s. Okay, let's keep talking. Oh, no wonder I'm tired of talking. It's been 24 minutes already. What did I talk about for that long? Oh gosh, I don't listen to the episodes, right? I don't. I can't stand them. Not because I'm like embarrassed of myself or anything. I'm just like, oh, I already said that. I'm not listening to myself say it again. But then sometimes I'm not good. Because people are like, oh my gosh, you said this. And I'm like, really? You sure it was me? It totally was. So, in my new project bag from Joanna Spring, because she understands orange. You need some orange in this kind of weather, people. Just letting you know. You need orange. I am knitting the Ricky hat, which Let me look on my spiffy screen. Because I can't remember. Oh, if I even have it here, because let's face it, why would I? Why would I be that prepared? Do you need something, honey? Okay. Why do I have it here? I'm so clever. Forget that what I said about me not being prepared. It was just a trick. Sarah Young.
My notebook.
Your notebook should be right over there somewhere.
Over there.
Okay, can you like look through the pile one more time? Did you put it in your backpack by any chance?
No. What do you think I'd do that?
Okay, that sounded a little smart alecky, yo. Totally not there, huh?
Mm-mm.
Well, you get a reprieve until I'm done podcasting then, apparently.
A what?
You get a break. You could look on your table. Maybe it's on your table. I'm so sorry. Oh, success. So this is the Ricky hat. Did I already say that? This is the hand spun I finished last week from Cloud Lover. It is Rambouillet in the Lord Grantham colorway. Does not disappoint. It feels so good in Gata. Rambouillet is known as the French merino, so it's a very soft wool. I like it better than merino. It has just a tiny bit more grab. For me, it's easier to spin. But has a lot of the same characteristics. So you can see this is a garter stitch hat. I can't remember if this pattern's right or not. I'm knitting it on US 4s. The brim was on US 2s. What else do I need to tell you? I am knitting it cheater style in the round. So you can see that blippy line? I knit, so like I'm knitting, you're me, okay? Oh, this is gonna go really wrong. Maybe you're not me. But like, let's say I'm done knitting, I get to here. So then I wrap the next stitch that's behind this marker and I turn it around and then I knit all the way around. And then I do that again. I go one stitch beyond the marker, wrap that one stitch, turn around and go all the way around. There are lots of YouTube tutorials. So if you just Google or go onto YouTube and do a search of knitting garter no purl, or no, do garter in the round no purl. I think that's what I searched and found a YouTube video for somebody. And it'll explain it much better than that. It's out there, I promise. I feel like there was something. Just sit on the other chair. There's like 75 chairs in this house. Not really. What else was I going to say? I think that's all I need to say. So it's going along well. It's not super fast, but no, that's cool. And this is one of my favorite hats to wear. The one I have made of Leading Men Fiber Arts. My favorite hats to wear because it's just slouchy enough that you can wear your hair like twisted up or something inside of it, but it's not like crazy slouchy. Anyway, I like it a lot. So there's that. The next work in progress, I'll show you. I am knitting some worsted weight socks. This is yarn I purchased from Simply Sock Yarn in Terre Haute, Fort Wayne. For some reason, my mind can never separate those two cities. Sorry, residents of Terre Haute and Fort Wayne. I hope you don't have a rivalry. But anyway, it is online, perhaps? Super Sock 8-ply in the Aspen color. And it's 210 meters for 100 grams. It's 75% superwash wool. I hope it's superwash. Now that I look at it, it doesn't really say superwash. Is that a trick? 25% nylon. I'll have to be careful. And I am knitting these on US 2s. The skinny 2s, not the 2.5s. And I'm knitting them toe up. I'll probably do like I might try the fish lips kiss heel. Everybody's talking about it. I've been resisting, but I think it would be a perfect application in this situation because I don't need to just preserve striping or anything. I like the afterthought heel, but that seems like a similar, I know not people don't say the same fit, but it seems similar. And that way I don't have to like break yarn and all that good stuff. So I might try that. And what am I doing for the stitch pattern? Who knows? I mean, really. I knit 3 stitches purl 1 across And then on the next row, I just centered the pearls over those 3 knits that were. So instead I knit 1, purl 1, knit 3, purl 3. Or knit 1, purl 1, knit 3, purl 1, etc., etc. So just stagger the pearls. But I do them every row. I try to do them every other row. I didn't like as much. I don't know, it's just something. I guess it's like a broken 1x1 rib. Sort of. There's probably an easy way to do it now that I've just said that out loud, because it's a broken 1x1. Whatever, it's fine. Shush. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to talk about, hopefully I can do this with some amount of clarity, because let's face it, thus far, maybe not the best episode. I'm knitting on my carapino, and it's actually almost done. So that's awesome. I'm still kind of deciding on sleeves, but I think I'm gonna go with no sleeves. Why not? Why not? But as I've been thinking about that, I wanted to get out my Chocolate Stout. Chocolate Stout is a sweater by Thea Coleman, the Baby Cocktails. And it is a big woofy, she calls the sleeves woofy, but it's a big woofy wool sweater. I believe it's written for Erin, and I knit mine out of Peace Fleece. They're worsted, which is technically Erin, in the Brownie with Nuts colorway, and I finished it several months ago. I can't remember exactly when, but I was very displeased with how the sleeves turned out. Now, it's not the pattern's fault. The pattern has you do the sleeve from the cuff up and seam it in, and it's an inset shoulder. I believe it's inset, right? I believe so. An inset sleeve, whatever. But I wanted to do mine from the top down because I don't mind a seam if it's stockinette to stockinette. Then I can just mattress seam. But when it starts to be like vertical to horizontal stitches, it just starts to make me a little bit antsy. Plus there's purling in there because it's like a ribbing pattern. And I was just like, I don't like it. Did I just really sound like a moose, didn't I? Oh my gosh, talking about mooses. I forgot to tell you one thing I'm very excited about. Season 3 of Alaska: The Last Frontier. Is that what it's called? The one with Otts and Ottsley and Otto. No, well, you don't need to talk about the squirrel. And Otto and Ivan and their partners, which okay, never mind. I'm not going to get into I just had like a bad feminist moment there. Sorry. Anyway, season 3 is available. Do you like that show? I love that show. I have totally crazy Alaskan homesteading fantasies, which is funny this time of year because really, it's cold here, etc. So, but whatever, I've still enjoyed it so much. If you've never watched that show, I do recommend it. I don't think it's available free anywhere. It might be, actually this season might be available for free on Discovery's website. I enjoy it so much I actually give them my dollars. I buy it. I never buy anything. That's not true. But I don't often buy things. Not yarn related. I know some of you out there are like, shush. But I totally give them my dollars because I love that show so much. Oh. The people are just, okay, so I know it's like reality TV and like I know that, 17 episodes and they're like 42 minutes without commercials. So what is that? Like 12 hours or something? Okay, so I know it's 12 hours out of their year. Okay, and the point of this show is not to present people in a negative light, but to present them in a positive light. So I understand that editing. But I just really enjoy how much they support one another in like such a very, what seems to be such a very positive and honest way. Like it's just a heartfelt joy at others' success. I just love it so much. Oh, I don't know. It makes me want to be a better person when I watch it. Don't you like TV like that? Or entertainment in general? It's like, I want to be better. I mean, I'm a little bit sad that I'm not better. I'm not gonna lie. But I just want to be a better person. I'm like, oh, look at that. They care for one another and they really are just like, yes, good job. And they're just like lifting each other up in a not like a good ball throw Timmy Brute threw the ball all completely the wrong way. Not like that. It's like a very honest, like, I saw what you did and I respect it, and I've now internalized that because it's cold here in the winter and I have 10 months to think to myself. And so now I'm going to give back to you in words and just let you know how good a person you are. And you're just like, bravo, bravo. It also makes me very sad that I'm not raising my children on the frontier. Whatever, move on, do the best we can. So anyway, tangent. So anyway, so I was very displeased with my sleeves, and I knew that I needed to take them apart because if I didn't, I was just never going to wear this sweater. And this sweater is not going to be worn a lot anyway because it is an Aran weight sweater, which this time I kind of wish I had it right now. But let me see if I can show you how the sleeve is. So there are two things that are wrong with this sleeve, and I'm not sure that you can exactly see them in this picture, in this video. The first thing that is wrong with this sleeve is that this, for me, the sleeve opening is way too big. And I believe that that is one of the reasons it seems to be slipping off my shoulders a lot when I wear it. Because that is one of the big problems, is that it feels like, okay, the shawl collar probably should have been longer. I made it longer than the pattern said, but I should have made it even longer. But I think because that sleeve, this, what is it called, the scythe? Whatever, the armhole is too big. I think it is like weighing it down and there's not enough to hold. It's stretching the width out on the shoulder and it's not staying on my shoulders like at all in a positive way. So there's that problem. And then the second problem is I picked up way too many stitches around the armhole. I did it mathematically. Like I measured my vertical gauge versus my horizontal gauge and I picked up at that ratio. However, I think there is some element of ease. Like when you're sewing a pattern, I don't have very much experience with garment sewing at all. Like almost zero. But I know that like, I don't think that the measurement of the sleeve that you're setting in to the shoulder is always an exact match. Like I feel like you have to ease one of them into the other. Does that make sense? Well, that's all to say that I don't necessarily think the horizontal and vertical pickups need to match exactly. I think you need less stitches on the sleeve than you necessarily have measurement in the armhole. There's at least one of you who's like, I think you're right. The other ones are like, what is she saying? Not that you're not bright, but like, what did I just say? So there were two problems though. The armhole was too big and the pickup ratio was bad. So the pickup ratio, while a pain in the neck to fix, is easy enough. You just rip the whole thing out and pick up at a fewer stitches per inch. The armhole size is not so easy to fix because this has a shawl collar that is knit on, of course, after you seam everything. So I would technically have to take off all the shawl collar, then unseam the arms, rip back to make the armhole more shallow. Seam it, put the not happening is what the long and short of that one is. So here is my brilliant plan, which I think might have actually worked. Right? Maybe. I don't know if you'll be able to see it with this dark yarn. We're gonna try. Okay. So, oh, you can totally see it. Oh, that's so exciting, Kimber. Good job. Okay, so see all this like ribbing bit down here? The outline of that, oh look, I'm doing left and right. The outline of that is where the original armhole was to be. Okay, so that was, originally I would have come all the way down here and picked up stitches around here. Okay, but to make the armhole more shallow, what I did is I measured down what I wanted the depth to be. And I put markers on either side of it. So I put like a marker here and a marker over comparably over there. And then I picked up my stitches in that little dip that I essentially wanted to kind of get rid of this length right here. Is that making sense? I wanted to get rid of this length. I wanted to bring the whole thing up. So I picked up those stitches. It happened in this case be 39. I'm just telling you because maybe it'll help explain what I did. So it's 39 stitches. What I did is I divided that by 3 because I figured I'd have a left, a middle, and a right. I put markers, like the 2 middle markers. So there was like a marker. So so confusing. I know that you're like, it is not that confusing. It is. So I put a marker, a stitch marker, like a regular old stitch marker. You can see that there's like, there we go, right there. And then one on the other side. And then all I did was, I had this, at the same time, I did short rows, so I would not knit the last stitch of the row I knit before, or purl or whatever. Plus I decreased on both sides of that marker on each right side row. So basically I did like a shawl. See the wedgie shape? It's kind of like a shawl shape, right? But I just did it with short rows so that it would all bring up and be flat at the top. I think it totally worked. Because again, the sleeve's not full length. It doesn't have the full width, the weight of the sleeve pulling it down. But it seems like it's going to stay on my shoulder better. Maybe. So after I did that, I then picked up, I think originally I might have picked up at something crazy like 3 for $5 or 4 for $5. Again, I measured gauge, but I just can't trust that. I've had 2 sweaters now that have come out with like Princess Diana sleeves. Not a good idea. It's just, there's way too much fabric. Like it just looks like, it looks like you have a gathered like 80s sleeve. Like there's like ruffling here. It's bad. When you already have a big arm like I do, not because I'm super buff, but because I'm super country and I have country lady arms, it just exaggerates, I think, the size of your arm and just draws attention to it because you're like, why is she wearing a Princess Diana sleeve? What's wrong with her? Plus, you got a lot more stitches in it. What was I doing? I knew. I totally knew when I was doing that first sleeve that pickup rate was too much. It was ridiculous. But I kept thinking, I'll block out. Block right out. No, it looks stupid. And then because the sleeve is too big up here, I had to decrease really fast. So then it was like, again, it was a very 80s sleeve. It was like dolmany almost. It was ridiculous. So I left one sleeve in. Maybe I can try to get, I don't want to say that I can do that, but I'll try to get a picture of like one versus the other. And I'll do it like super, as Malia suggested, I'll do it super infomercial style where I'll just really jack up the one like, rah, and then the other will be nice. But so I'm very pleased with it. It's a total pain in the neck to knit a sleeve because I'll be honest with you, I really enjoy this yarn. There's nothing wrong with the pattern, but I'm knitting it at a gauge that is not comfortable to knit. It is unpleasant. Is that at least? Oh my gosh, it's 42 minutes and I didn't have any real shenanigans. Oh, what did I even... See, okay, so... See? Did you see how big that sleeve is? That's crazy. Like, I have big arms, but come on now. That's just nuts. And I really was like, oh, it's part of the whole thing. It's supposed to be... She calls them woofy, which is very cute. Or woofy, or woofy. Woofy! She calls them woofy in the pattern. So I was just like, oh, it's just in the spirit of the pattern. It's very over... And I don't knit a lot of oversized sweaters. I may have knit the sleeve just slightly too small. But I just like it better. It's not tight or anything. But I'm totally not wearing a bra. But like you can totally see, there's the good side. There's the, see, look at that. That's not good. You saw that? See right here. There's my arm under there. Now I have like slim and oh, it's actually underneath my arm. See, I could totally work. I'm proud of myself. I had to think about it quite a bit. Okay, so there's that. That's on US Worsted yarn. It's too tight. It's like the opposite of the lovely sport woolen spun yarn on size 2s. The opposite. Okay, so now it's time for shameless self-promotion. Are you ready? If you don't want to watch it, that's okay. I'll see you later next time. Bye. If you do, I'm right here. So I don't have handles done, but other than that, here's samples. Okay, so this update will be January 31st. I usually do them the first Friday of the month, but these were kind of Valentine's-y to me, as close as I get to Valentine's-y. So I thought it'd be appropriate to get them out a little earlier. So here is, that's a small wedge, and I have 2 fabrics. They're the same print, they're just different colorways. So you have a much peaker, a very cool palette, and it has a white zipper and a fuchsia tag. And then you have a warmer palette, which is reds. Oh, and the pink has a little bit of lavender in it too. and a little bit of yellow. And those have a red zipper and a red fat squirrel tag. They all have the cream lining that I enjoy so much. So there's those. And then here is the sweater size. So this is the pink. Again, it has red in it, but it's a very cool, cool red. But I would call it, when I name them, I will call this the pinks bag and the other one the reds bag. And it has a little bit of purple. You can see that there too. And if you're not sure, they just have the Latin name of the flower underneath them. And then there's the red flavor. And then, so those are the sweater sizes. And then I have just a few of the largest, the Aran sweater, and it's only in the warm one, the red one. There's that. So again, that update will be January 31st at 9 p.m. If you are going to the Knitting Pipeline Retreat, just FYI, I'm going to try to remember to, I will remember to post it in the Pipeliner thread, and I will make an announcement later on the show, but in case you're behind on podcasts like I often am, I will do the Pipeliner bag with like the souvenir tag, they just came in, like I did last year. Just check me if that's wrong. Just makes me nervous. And I think you'll like the fabrics this year. And I think what I'm going to do is actually do a pre-order for them. But only if you're going to the Pipeline Retreat. That fabric will also be available in a regular update, sans fancy tag. But if you're actually going to the retreat and you want to make sure you get a bag, I will do a pre-order for them that you can just pick up at the retreat. I'll have some available there too, but that way if you really want one, you don't have to be nervous about it. Not that you would have to be nervous about it, but you know what I mean. Some of you do get nervous. I think that's all. But just throwing that out there, and that update I'm showing you the table. The pre-order only for Knitting Pipeline Retreat people will happen probably at the very end of February or the very 1st of March. Probably the very end of February, I'm imagining. So there's that. Yay! That's all, folks. I hope you have a lovely week. I will text you next time. I will talk to you next time. Or maybe I'll just make noises that don't make any sense. Bye. What is it, dear?